we take sources, lots of them sometimes, and pull out the key takeaways just for you. And today, we're diving into something I think, well, pretty much everyone has felt at some point. That kind of nagging sense that you're falling behind somehow. Have you ever been scrolling online or maybe just chatting with friends and felt like, gosh, everyone else seems to be hitting these big milestones, achieving things, living their dreams, and you feel like you're still figuring out, the next step.
Oh, absolutely. It's a feeling that's, well, it's pretty much everywhere, isn't it? So our deep dive today looks at some really insightful excerpts that from your own timeline, Blooming in Due Season. And our mission really is to unpack this whole idea of personal timelines and to look at the societal pressures that kind of feed that behind feeling. And maybe, most importantly, figure out how we can find some peace, find purpose on our own path.
Yeah, exactly. And the main message, the thing we really want you to take away right from the start, is this really powerful idea: you are not behind. You're actually perfectly on your own path. It's all about embracing this idea that everyone blooms, well, in their own time. Okay, so let's jump into maybe the most damaging part of feeling behind. The source puts it so well. It says, comparison is the thief of joy. We hear that a lot, right? But what does it actually mean? Why is it so good at, stealing our happiness?
It's incredibly powerful, yeah, because it taps into something deep psychologically, of vulnerability. When we compare, especially when we compare up, our brain kind of triggers this primitive, almost like a threat response. We're not just like looking at someone else's life. We're judging our own worth against this often totally idealized external standard. And the source talks about how it's not just a casual glance, it's this relentless, sometimes subconscious search for what we lack. It basically puts us on this treadmill where even if we get the thing we were envious of, the goal just moves. And it's especially tough now, isn't it? With social media showing these curated lives, it's just this endless stream of comparison points, and they're often not even real.
That's such a key point. It's not just looking, it's evaluating our own worth. The
Yeah.
source really pushes this idea that life isn't a race, but gosh, it's so easy to get sucked into that competitive thinking. It lists examples, right? Like, it's not about who gets married first, buys a house first, or earns $1 million first. But we are just constantly hit with these stories suggesting these things should happen by certain ages.
We really are. And they're not just single benchmarks, are they? They build up into this subtle but really powerful story society tells us. The source actually calls them made-up milestones.
Made-up milestones, I like that.
Yeah. It highlights how common they are. Finish college by 22, settle down by 30, succeed by 35.
Okay.
And what's interesting is how these totally arbitrary numbers get stuck in our heads. They get reinforced everywhere. Family gatherings, TV shows, movies. We end up with this subconscious checklist. And if we don't tick the boxes on time, it triggers that awful feeling of being inadequate. The source really makes it clear these aren't like natural laws. They're just constructs made up by culture, not biology or actual human development.
Okay, and this is where it gets really liberating, I think. The source offers this different way of looking at it. It suggests that sometimes the people who take longer build deeper roots. What does that actually mean, though? Deeper roots? It sounds nice, but what does it look like?
That's a great question. Deeper roots doesn't just mean like taking your time or putting things off. It suggests a more thorough process of growth, often more meaningful. It could mean, say, getting a wider range of experiences that help you make better decisions later. Or maybe building a stronger network because you've been in different roles or places. And, critically, it often means developing more self-awareness, figuring out your values before you commit to a big life path. So you're not just rushing. You're building a foundation that's, solid, flexible, and truly yours. It's about gaining that wisdom, that inner strength that helps you handle life's challenges, rather than just ticking boxes for show.
Right, that resilience and that idea of deeper roots, it connects directly to our well-being, doesn't it? The source says something really powerful. Real peace begins when you start measuring your life based on growth, not clocks. That feels like such a huge shift, moving away from the external numbers to something, well, much more personal. So maybe ask yourself, what does growth actually mean for you? Is it learning something new, fixing a relationship, finding more purpose, or just maybe feeling calmer inside?
Exactly. And the source, it makes this really concrete with these stories of late bloomers. People finding success at 40, love at 50, or purpose at 60.
Yeah, I love those examples.
Me too. And they're not shown as weird exceptions. They're examples of how different everyone's timeline really is. It totally dismantles that myth that there's only one right way or one right age to achieve things. These stories aren't about finally catching up. They're about finding real fulfillment on your own schedule, often made richer because of the experiences that took, quote-unquote, longer. It shows that value comes from, an organic unfolding, not forcing it.
Which brings us right back to that core message, that reassurance from the source that I think we all just honestly need to hear sometimes. It validates your journey, saying things like you're not too late, you're not too early, you're right on time. And then it just says, simply, keep going. Why is that so freeing to hear?
It's freeing because it just takes away that pressure, that tyranny of the external clock, It reframes your whole journey. It's not a failure to meet some schedule, it's your unique path. And it's valid. It shifts the focus away from what you think you lack towards your inherent worth right now. It's like this powerful antidote to all that anxiety from comparing ourselves. It lets you breathe, trust your own pace, and know that your unique experiences are exactly what you need for whatever comes next.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the key takeaway seems crystal clear. True fulfillment, real peace, it comes when you actually recognize and honor your own unique timeline. It's about stepping off that hamster wheel of made-up milestones society sets up. And understanding that real growth, authentic growth, that's the ultimate measure of a life well lived.
It really is. It's about finding patience, finding self-compassion, knowing your journey is unfolding just as it should. No need to rush, no need to conform.
Absolutely. So, as you go about your day-to-day, maybe just sit with this thought for a moment. If you could totally ignore all those made-up milestones, all the shoulds, the must-haves by a certain age, what would your ideal personal growth timeline actually look like just for you? What would it truly mean for you to be blooming in due season, completely on your own terms? Something to think about. Keep that question with you.